like any other college girl. Except she disappeared while she was allegedly dating a U.S. congressman. Shocking unsolved crime number 5 is the murder of Chandra Levy. 24-year-old Chandra Levy was a college student working in Washington, D.C.
Chandra Levy had just concluded an internship with the Federal Bureau of Prisons. She worked in their public affairs department.
She'd been given notice that the term was over and that was it. She thought she was going to stay in Washington and get a job, and that had fallen through.
In late April, Chandra prepared to head back to California to attend her college graduation.
She had canceled her lease for her apartment and her gym membership and told her parents and told others that she was going to come home and get her diploma.
Levy emailed her flight information to her parents. Then, the errands and emails stopped. Chandra's father, Robert, called D.C. police on May 6th after his daughter failed to return his phone calls.
I didn't think anything until the police went to her home and found her wallet, found her cell phone, found everything there. When you go out the door, you don't leave your wallet behind.
Police with cadaver-sniffing dogs scoured a nearby park where Chandra sometimes jogged, but there was no sign of the missing intern.
They looked through her phone records and her email to see who she was talking to and to see if she was having a problem with somebody, something that will give them a tip as to why she would disappear when she did.
What investigators discovered took them by surprise.
They found references in her emails to relatives that she was in this relationship with Congressman Condit.
He was the last person to speak with her. And because they had this relationship that was sort of a secretive relationship, it was something that people thought, well, maybe this is a guy that has something to hide.
This made California Congressman Gary Condit a person of interest to investigators.
Chandra and I had spoken about her having a life with Gary Condit. She told me that he was married, he had children, and that she was involved. She was having feelings for this person, strong feelings. She had said that there was this 5-year plan, that he was going to finish his term out and she was hopefully going to get a job in D.C. and that he was going to tell his wife and he was going to end up being with her.
On July 6th, according to published reports, the 53-year-old congressman confessed to police that his relationship with Chandra was more than just platonic.
He did indeed admit to having an affair and having some connection with Chandra Levy in that regard, but to this day he maintains he had nothing to do with her disappearance.
Meanwhile, without a body, it was impossible to determine what happened to Chandra.
I believe and I continue to hope and pray that she will come back to us alive.
On May 22, 2002, at least part of the mystery was solved. A man hunting for turtles in a D.C. area park found the skeletal remains of a young woman.
I've received word from Dr. Arden over at the D.C. Medical Examiner's office that the remains found earlier today are in fact Chandra Levy.
Chandra Levy's remains were discovered in a wooded area in Rock Creek Park, a very large park in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, the scene of recovery of a murder victim.
It was our conclusion it definitely was a homicide. This was nowhere near a place where she could have accidentally stumbled.
Some knotted up running tights were found near the body. Police theorized they could have been used to strangle Chandra.
There was a suspicion of a small injury on the hyoid bone, high up on the neck beneath the lower jaw, and we felt that it suggested strangulation.
She was really essentially entirely skeletonized at that point. She had been there about 9 months or so since the time of her disappearance.
6 years later, D.C. cops announced a break in the investigation. In March 2009, they charged 27-year-old prison inmate Ingmar Gwandike with Chandra's murder.
We believe that Miss Levy was a random victim of Gwandike, who allegedly attacked and killed her as she walked her jog through Rock Creek Park on May 1st, 2001.
Gwandike was already serving time for attacking 2 other women in the same park. Police said new witness accounts also link Gwandike with Chandra's death. Chandra's parents released a statement saying their daughter can finally rest in peace.
There's very little that I can do or any of us can do now to offer anything to the Levys other than justice.
But Guandike's public defenders called the police investigation flawed. The case is pending. Gary Condit also issued a press release. The former congressman said he was glad for the Levy family and his own. Condit was never charged with a crime, but his political career never recovered.
Coming up,
the killer cut into the side of her face and made her look clown-like.